You may be surprised to hear that you can actually fail your driving test for stopping at a zebra crossing when someone's waiting to cross. Behind me is a temporary set of traffic lights, and within the traffic light controlled area is a zebra crossing. Now that presents a major issue.
The issue? Well, if one of these cars decides to stop at the zebra crossing, well, we can have a bit of a problem, because whilst they're stopped at the zebra crossing, the traffic lights may change. So the other side may get a green light and start coming whilst we're waiting in the middle of the traffic light controlled area. This is why it's so important not to have a zebra crossing within a traffic light controlled area. The zebra crossing needs to be replaced with a traffic light controlled pedestrian crossing so that both directions of traffic have a red light whilst the pedestrians can cross. Another option would be to close the crossing completely, but that's not always feasible in areas where there are many people needing to cross the road and the next safe place to cross is far away. If a pedestrian crossing is really needed, then converting it to a temporary set of traffic light controlled pedestrian crossing, like they have done here, may be a better option.
Those temporary traffic lights have actually been there for around about 4 weeks now, and today is the last day. But when they were first erected, many drivers gave way at the zebra crossing, and it caused big queues because not many cars were getting past the green light when it was green, because that zebra crossing can become quite busy at the right time of day, particularly school hours. But as time has gone on, people have become wise of it and how it's causing big queues, and not many people are giving way at that zebra but no longer zebra crossing anymore. I understand why drivers still want to give way at the zebra crossing even though it's no longer a zebra crossing, it's traffic light controlled, and that's because it still looks like a zebra crossing and drivers are used to giving way at zebra crossings when someone's waiting to cross the road. But it is no longer a zebra crossing, it is traffic light controlled, so if the drivers have a green light and the pedestrians have a red light, the drivers should not be encouraging the pedestrians to cross the road. However, if I was driving and I saw a pedestrian and it didn't look like they were going to wait, I would still stop and give way. I wouldn't run them over. A mistake that sometimes happens on the driving test is the learner driver taking too long at a junction which has been replaced by temporary traffic lights. Take this mini roundabout for example. It's no longer a mini roundabout, it's been replaced by a 4-way set of temporary traffic lights. Every entrance into this mini roundabout is controlled by a traffic light. Now, I'm not saying you should just drive straight across that roundabout without even looking. It's good to be aware of your surroundings at traffic lights. So even if you've got a green light, still have a quick look to make sure the people who should be waiting at their red light are waiting. But if the learner driver on the learner test slows down towards that roundabout and starts checking and taking a while to make sure no one's coming when they have a green light and they're holding up cars behind, that can be a mark on the driving test. And depending on how long they take at the junction, it could even be a serious and therefore a driving test fail. Whether or not you would fail for stopping at that crossing does depend on the bigger picture. The examiner's not going to just fail you straight away for that. They're going to take into account everything that's happening. Was it obvious that the zebra crossing was no longer in use? What was the signage like? Was the pedestrian waiting to cross the road, or did it look like they were going to walk in front of you? How harshly did you stop? Did stopping cause a big issue or barely no issue at all? The examiner is going to consider all those factors and then decide whether or not they're going to mark it at all, or if you get a minor driving fault or a serious driving fault, a serious fault being a fail. I recently did a mock driving test with Madeline and she did a brilliant drive. I'll leave a link to that video up there, but I failed her for stopping at a zebra crossing that had been replaced by a temporary set of traffic lights. If that was her real test though, would she have failed? Well, I don't know. That comes down to the judgment of the examiner. If the examiner felt like the pedestrian was going to walk in front of us, then it's unlikely she would fail, because yes, if a pedestrian is going to walk in front of us, we need to stop, we need to give way. But if the examiner felt like the pedestrian was going to wait, then she probably would fail, because we have a green light and the pedestrian has a red light. But that's going to come down to the judgment of the examiner. For me though, it's a mock test. I err on the side of caution. If it's possible that it's going to be a fail, I'm going to mark it as a fail because it's educational. I'm more interested in my pupil and my viewers learning that although that is a zebra crossing, it's now traffic light controlled. So if we have a green light and the pedestrians have a red light, we should be continuing unless we're worried they are going to walk in front of us. Ultimately, the driving examiner's priorities are you safe and are you legal? But you do need to make enough progress as well, and waiting at a green light when it's unnecessary, well, that usually results in a fail in my experience. So they have to determine, was it necessary for the driver to wait when it was green? If you found the video interesting, please give it a thumbs up. If you're looking for car insurance, check out the links to Collingwood and Confused in the description. If you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, then Collingwood are there for you because you can do so without affecting the owner of that car. Via the link at the moment, well, you don't affect their policy because you're not on their policy. Anyway, via the link at the moment, you get up to 35% off and a £20 gift card. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out the link to confused.com because you fill out one quote form, get loads of quotes back from many insurers, and you don't have to do the whole quote again if you want to change the car. Just change the car, recalculate. It's a quick and easy way to compare how much it costs to insure different cars. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.